how PSG can dominate the Champions League. Today in this video I'm going to be rebuilding PSG so they can dominate the Champions League in the next 10 years. After dominating Ligue 1 once again and winning the league by 16 points, PSG found themselves getting knocked out in the round of 16 by Manchester United. Consistent failure in this competition is no more at PSG as I look to rebuild their squad so they can dominate this competition for the next 10 years. This is PSG's current squad and it's very talented, but they've got a few players aging out such as R.E.M.C and Cavani that need to be replacing. They have great strength in midfield with Draxler, Verratti, Marquinhos, Di Maria and Rabiot, but with Verratti injured for most of the season and Rabiot leaving on the free, this is an area they need to improve on next year. Defensively, they need to find a long-term partner for Kimpembe as Thiago Silva ages out. This might mean bringing Marquinhos back to centre-back or buying a centre-back in the next window. In my opinion, I think they need to have a world-class goalkeeper if they're to challenge for the Champions League, so I would look to replace Areola and bring in a top-quality goalkeeper. With Neymar, Cavani and Mbappe as PSG's front three, they are lethal in Ligue 1, but at the Champions League they might not cut it together, especially if one of them is injured. There's not much strength in depth, and I think Mbappe would be a much more of a world beater through the central, so I'm going to look to rebuild a team around him centrally. So, the players I will look to sell from PSG are Areola, Meunier, Alves, Rabiot, Neymar and Cavani, and for the total of them I think you could get 255 million. I would look to sell Neymar because I think he's a bit overrated, and at the age of 27 he's only got a few years left where he's going to be really high valued at 180 plus million, with Real Madrid maybe wanting him as well, rumours of more than 180 million. And for building for the future I think we should look to get rid of him now. It hasn't quite worked out at PSG, but he's still worth a lot of money. Let's get that money through the door and reinvest in a younger player. And with selling Cavani it allows us to play Mbappe centrally, which is where I think he's going to be the best. Obviously Dani Alves and Rabiot are leaving on a free, so we're not going to get any money from them, and I would sell Areola to bring in a world class goalkeeper, probably get about 20 million for him still, and Meunier, he's just not good enough to play for me anymore, so we're going to get rid of him for 20 million too. And moving on to the players I would look to bring in, we start with Dembele for 100 million from Barcelona. I think he's really talented, he's playing on that right wing for me. He hasn't really got a look in at Barcelona, but if he comes to PSG he's going to be one of my main man, and I think he'd be a real great talent for PSG to have. Probably get him for around 100 million too, which is great value for money in my opinion. Next I would bring in Herrera, which they're going to do. I'm pretty sure the deal's nearly done for Herrera on a free, and I'd also bring in Rafael on a free just to play backup. He's still 27, still pretty young. He's alright, he's playing the French League, he'd do for the league, but maybe not starting him in the Champions League, but for a backup, bringing him on a free, good signing in my opinion. Next, at the right back spot, I'm going to bring Kenny Lala as a starter. I'm not sure if he'd be actually good enough to play in the Champions League, but it's a low risk move, £15 million, already knows the league. We're going to bring him in, see how he fares at PSG. Maybe he's not good enough and next season we have to go buy another right back who's younger, but we'll see how it goes. It's a low risk move, it's a cheap sign and we're going to bring him in. Next, we're going to bring in Anthony Martial from Manchester United for 80 million to play on the left wing. He hasn't had the best of times at Man United, he's burst onto the scene, but he's not been favoured under a load of managers there. Rumours he's fell out with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well, so we could probably get him for £80 million with Man United being surplus to requirements of left wingers as well. I think he'd be great at PSG, home country, wouldn't be homesick, so yeah, I think we should bring him in, see if he does any better for PSG, because he has got the potential to be world class, but just hasn't shown it enough at Man United. But PSG, he's going to show it all the time. Next in comes my world class goalkeeper in Jan Oblak, £70 million probably, maybe a bit more, but depends if Atletico Madrid need the money or not. But I reckon you could probably get from 70 to 80 million pounds. Bring him in, 26 years old, he's going to be brilliant. And if you want to win the Champions League you need a world class goalkeeper, which we would have in Jan Oblak. My next signing would be Hakim Ziyech from Ajax. He's been amazing this season. To be fair, I've quite liked him for a number of seasons now, but it's this season he's really burst onto the scene, with Ajax getting to the semi-final of course. He's a star player, we're going to bring him in. I don't know if he'll play every game for us, but he is quality, he's got talent, and he'll be a good addition to the squad. For 30 million, 40 million is rumoured, so bring him in, he's a great player. And my last marquee signing would be James Rodriguez for 40 million. Real Madrid don't want him, it looks like Bayern Munich don't want him, not many people want him. I'll have him at PSG, 40 million, I'll bite your hand off. He's world class on his day and he'll fit into my system perfectly with players around him like Verratti doing all the legwork. He can just sit there, do his thing and you know, he's quality, so if you want to win the Champions League, you need quality. And I think it'd be a really great addition to the squad. So this would be what my team would look like. We'd have Jan in black and goal, world quality. Bernat stays at left back, he's decent in my opinion. Kimpembe and Marquinhos at the back, centre back partnership, they're going to be great. Lala right back, a bit of a risk, but if it doesn't work out, we've got Rafael, who's a strong defensive right back, he'll do a job. In the middle we've got Verratti with Herrera and Rodriguez. It's a good mix there, and obviously you can bring in Ziyech, maybe Di Maria, Draxler. Lots of options on the bench. And up front, our front three, the French three, we've got Martial on the left, Mbappe in the middle, Dembele on the right. So much pace, so much quality, so much attack, it's going to be amazing. But now it's time to see how they fare in the FIFA simulation, so I'm going to jump right into it, choose my team, lineup, and simulate it in the season, see how we do. So for the simulation, I've actually chosen to play a 4-2-3-1 with Verratti and Herrera in the centre mids and James at a cam, Martial on the left, Dembele on the right, Mbappe up front. That's the lineup we're going to go for. We're going to simulate to the end of the season now, and I'll see you when we get there. Literally at the end of the season, as you can see, we've won the league by 10 points with Lyon finishing second, and we're going to look how we did in this thing. We won it versus Monaco, 5-4 on penalties. Coupe National, Monaco won it. Time to see how we do in the Champions League now, and we haven't got to the final, Liverpool winning, but we did get to the semis, lost 2-1 to aggregate against Spurs. Not a bad run in, beating Juventus on the way, as well as Real Madrid in the round of 16, and we finished second in our group behind Liverpool. So, I mean, Liverpool Spurs, that is what the Champions League final is in real life, but we got to the semi-finals, that's a good showing, it's a good place to build on, that's better than PSG have ever done before with this newly built team. Jumping into the squad hub now, into the squad report, we got Jan Black making 24 appearances. Thought we would have made a bit more actually, I don't know, we'd have been playing instead, I've been playing Buffon, that's fair enough. Rafael did get more appearances in the end over Lala, good defensive partnership with Marquinhos and Kimpembe there. Scrolling down, Kazawa made 40 appearances, not in my starting lineup, but he's a good player, I understand why he's got that many. Nkunku got 22 appearances, which is good. Paredes only 17. Ziyech only got 13, that's a little disappointing. 3 assists still though. Di Maria got 33 appearances and 10 goals. Sorting by goals, we can see that Mbappe scored 25, Martial with 14, Rodriguez with 11, Di Maria with 10, and Dembele with 8, which is great output from our attacking 4 technically. So yeah, it was a good season overall, and PSG can build from that in the future by improving the squad. Maybe the right back area needs improving, but that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching.